So clear your mind and just imagine. You're in Lisbon, Portugal, the most beautiful, romantic city you've ever known. You come home one night, you sit outside on the balcony, you look over, you see the cobblestones and narrow streets of the most beautiful city. And on the other side, you see the sparkling Tejo River, sort of glittering out in the distance. And the person you love the most in this world says, "Let's build our life together." Now, in Portuguese, that's a marriage proposal. And we said, yes, of course, how can you not do that? That's amazing. But then as a practical consideration pretty soon came up. He's from one continent, I was from another continent, so where do we go? Nuno said right away, to United States, I'm ready, I can pack my bags, we can do this. Said, okay, well, perfect, that settles it. We'll move to Jackson, Mississippi. Well, that didn't settle it, actually. He said, what about New York City? International design hotspot center, think of all the galleries and museums and what we could be a part of. Yeah, fair enough, good point. You could see this wasn't working and said, all right, what about San Francisco? A big innovative tech center. We're excited about interactivity and programming. Think of everything we could learn and what we could be a part of there. Yeah, good point, too. And then he said, what about Miami? They have a design biennale and they have an art biennale. I'm not sure Jackson has an art biennale. Not yet. He said, I understand what you're saying. But remember, I've seen B.B. King in concert 3 times, and that was in Lisbon, Portugal. You can still be part and connected to your community, but you don't have to live there. And he's right. But at the same time, if you're building a creative economy company and you have a personal connection to a more traditional community, to a rural community, to a small community, where you choose to build your business makes a difference. It doesn't mean there's a right answer or a wrong answer. It's a personal choice. One isn't necessarily better than the other. But if you choose to build your business in your community, you're making your community a part of and a partner in that dream. And that matters. And the more people that do it, the more it matters. We've learned a lot in building our business here in Jackson, Mississippi. And one of the things we've learned is that a shared sense of place builds relationships. The creative economy, place matters, and a shared sense of place builds relationships. This is particularly so with our manufacturing partners. When you're starting something new and you can drive 20 minutes down the street to Crystal Springs and work with a manufacturer who's been through the ups and downs for over 100 years, they know how to weather a storm, and they know what it takes sort of to succeed and to support. You know you have an amazing partner. And while we were asking them to do things they had never done before, they were willing to learn. There was learning going both ways. We trusted them to help us when we needed it most, and they trusted us to help them learn what they needed to do. It was really as much of a creative exchange. You think of a technology exchange, but it's also a creative thinking sort of exchange. And so we embarked on our dream. We started making products that combine sort of a physical shape and structure with new technologies, with LEDs, with sensors, with programming. You guys might have seen this bench. It's actually just down the street at the Mississippi Children's Museum. That's one piece. These are 2 children. Their parents helped build the bench. And we started with a few clients, and then our clients grew. And with that, the expectation, the responsibility grew. We started working with shopping centers like Westfield Models. We started working with hospitals like St. Jude's, with restaurants like McDonald's, with Northrop Grumman, with companies like that. Pretty soon, the expectations and responsibility actually grew a lot. We were shipping not only to Clarksdale and Biloxi, but to San Francisco, to Dallas, to Japan, to Australia, to India, to China, to Vietnam, all across the country and all across the world. And we knew we had to have a partner. And having the shared sense of place, a 20-minute drive to talk face-to-face when the challenges came up was incredibly important. So we also learned that if you look out sort of at the workforce and who you want to be working with and for you, you're looking for creative, well-educated, inspired, innovative sort of risk takers. But if you're in a small community, you also have a responsibility sort of and a role to help bring that about. You know, it's your story and it's your dream. you have a responsibility to help build that next sort of creative generation. And we really realized this even more so in a project we're doing now. We're expanding our platform and for our commercial sort of tables and adding sort of touchscreen-based interactivity where we have more creative games. They're collaborative games. They're more artistic about sort of self-discovery and self-expression. And about this time, we met two really amazing teachers, Darko and Catherine Saranac. They teach just down the street at Brown Elementary School. You might see some of their students' work outside. And they teach 3rd through 5th graders about coding, about principles of programming. And they're teaching them Scratch, the open source programming language designed for children that's offered by MIT. And they're teaching them App Inventor. And Darko was saying one day that while these children are absolutely amazing and really excited and have great ideas, there's still the challenge of motivation. And how do you help them see in themselves the potential for being great and for being professional leaders and creative leaders? And it suddenly became very clear, wait a minute, if we have this table that has creative gaming and these kids are learning programming and we're going to be putting our tables right here in our community, why don't they make a game? We'll put it there, and then they, along with their parents, their neighbors, their friends, and complete strangers, can all go there and play that. And they can see themselves featured not as students making student art, but as designers, as coders, as thinkers. And what would the impact of that experience have on how they see themselves, and how their parents see themselves, and how they see their future, and how they see what their community can give them and what they can give their community? So many of us wait until after we finish high school and go through college before we have the opportunity to really contribute sort of to the public space and to the public experience. But why not invite the young people today to help participate and do that? Their voice doesn't somehow get much more valid at age 22. It's just as valid as at age 8, and it's all the more empowering for all of us. So if you have a creative economy company or you're thinking about it, really think hard about where you want to locate and how you can involve your local community. Really, if we bring our community in to be a partner in our dream, we can help make the most of our future and of ourselves. Thank you.